Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be bringing to you the best dinos to tame on Genesis Part 1. As always, let me just throw my disclaimer out there. This is a list, in my opinion, the best dinos to tame on Genesis. There may well be better dinos that you can bring over from other maps, but I'm just doing the dinos that you can tame on this map. I'm close to completing this mini-series now, and we've got one for almost every map. So if you're playing on a different map and you want to know what dinos to tame, you can go check that out on my channel. And as always guys, thank you so much for the continued support. We're still growing every single day and it's honestly amazing. But anyways, that's enough of me yakking. Let's get into the video. Number 1. For our first spot, we have a dino that if you want to do well on Genesis, you need to get pretty soon. Of course, we're talking about the Stalker. You can get these guys in the swamp biome. And they're actually easy to tame with blood packs. They're a passive tame, so you can get one pretty quickly. I say passive tame, they're not very passive, but it's a passive tame. And because on the standard versions of Genesis, you can't use flyers, these are your next best bet. And arguably in certain biomes like the swampy biomes, they're actually better than flyers. Once you get the hang of the controls on these guys, they're actually really fast. You can use them to swing between trees. You can also use control to float on them almost. This makes navigating certain parts of the map very easy. They're definitely not the strongest dino, they're more for travel, but a good level 1 with a few points of melee damage can be pretty strong. They can also pick small dinos and more importantly people. You can also pick people from their tames with this, although you have to be very accurate. Once you pick them, it will reel them in and start sucking their blood until they die. You do need to be very careful on a Stalker because if it gets below around 50% of its health, it will quickly begin eating you as the rider, and if you're not careful, it will kill you very quickly. So you do have to be careful when riding a Stalker and keep its health topped up. Number 2. Let's do a nice early game dino that we can tame to help us get around the map, and more importantly survive, because when you start on this map it will actually tell you that the swamp is the easiest place to spawn. Yeah, the swamp can offer you a really bad time on this game, but it's a lot easier if you can quickly get yourself a relatively fast land dino, and the Beelzebufo is perfect for that. They can be tamed with just a couple of train carriers, so they're very easy to tame. They can jump, which is very good because a lot of areas on this map are very hilly. They also have a great level of stamina and it doesn't run out very often, which is very handy. If I'm taming a Beelzebufo, I normally give it a few points in movement speed just to help him out a little bit. But if you need something to fight on, you can also level him up in health and melee damage, and it will be surprisingly strong for a frog, or a toad, whatever you want to call it. As well as this, on Genesis, you may struggle to get cement and paste early game, and in case you didn't know, if you was to harvest bugs on a Beelzebufo, it will harvest cement and paste from them. This is going to put you ahead of the game. It's also worth noting that they can also swim just as fast as they can run. This can give you a great benefit in the swamp and also the ocean biomes. Number 3. Now because the swamp can be hell, as soon as I get myself some fur armor, I like to move across to the snowy biome. A great thing to tame once you get to the snow biome is a Gigantopithecus. These guys are a passive tame with just berries, and you also don't need a saddle to ride them, so one of these guys can quickly get you mobile. They can jump like humans, which is very handy because you can get around the map a lot easier. And if you're lucky enough to find yourself a high level one, they can also be pretty strong. Their attacks deal quite a lot of knockback, especially to smaller dinos. This is also very handy. They're also a great early game dino for harvesting, because you can choose what you want to harvest, so you can do just fibre, and it will gather a lot of fibre. You can also do thatch and wood, although it's not the best for it. And you can choose to harvest your berries, and again, it will get you a lot of berries, ready for your narcotic early game. On top of all these great attributes, your Gigantopithecus will also offer you an Ichthyosaurus option. So you can also get your monkey to throw you. I mean, you can do this for fun, or you can do this to get away from danger in case you ever need to suicide him. Number 4. Now in my opinion, this is the best land dino for Genesis. The Prokopteron is an amazing all-rounder. So it can hold 2 people because you can get a second person in its pouch. It's very fast at just hopping around. It can jump like the Beelzebufo and the Gigantopithecus, but you can charge the jump on the Prokopteron. So you can just do a little tiny jump, or you can literally jump miles. Once you start getting the hang of this, it's actually surprisingly easy to control, and you can gain access to areas that you once never thought you would on a land dino. It makes a great exploration of this map, and also offers some amazing features later game when it comes to breeding. Their attack deals a massive knockback effect, which if you're careful with using this, means you can kill a lot of dinos without even getting attacked back by it. Although they don't take much full damage at all, it's always worth remembering that they do take full damage, so you need to be a little bit careful if you're going to go crazy with it. Number 5. For every map you need an apex predator, and for this map we've chosen the Rex, or more importantly, the Tech Rex. So once you've got yourself some hazmat gear and probably some med brews, you can venture yourself out to the lunar biome. The lunar biome is full of tech dinos, and in case you didn't know, on a normal server, wild max dinos will be 150, but tech dinos can be up to level 180. And the lunar biome is always full of high level tech dinos. So if you can find yourself a Rex close to level 180, this guy is going to decimate anything in its way. Once you've got something that will easily kill all the tech dinos on the lunar biome, you'll never again have any issues with gathering electronic. Once you've leveled them up and even got a second and bred and imprinted them, you can use them for the harder missions that Genesis has to offer, where you have to kill big things, and Rexes are one of your best options for this. Number 6. So that Blood Stalker that we got earlier has another great use, and that use is to help get the next dino on this list. That's right, it's the Magma Saw. So the Magma Saw isn't a direct tame, you have to steal its egg, and that in itself can be a difficult task. I'm going to chuck my guide for that in the top right of the screen now, so go check that out if you want to get yourself a Magma Saw. Now, certain people wouldn't actually have much of a use for a Magma Saw. If you put metal ingots inside a Magma Saw, it can actually spit huge fireballs. Now, its ability to spit these fireballs depends on its environment. So in the volcanic biomes, it will spit these fireballs very easily. However, if you're in an area like the swamp and it's rainy, a Magma Saw will really struggle to charge up its Searing Spit attack, which will spit fireballs. Now, this isn't the strongest thing ever, although it's more effective against players. What it is extremely handy for is raiding bases. These fireball attacks will deal massive damage even to metal structures. If you're playing on an unofficial server though, I would make sure to check the rules of that server first, however, because a lot of servers are banning this because it's very OP. It's also important to note that the Magma Saw is the single best dino in the game for gathering metal. The trouble is, due to its size and difficulty to transport around the map, the Anki is often considered the better option. But if you live close to some metal rocks, the Magma Saw could be a great option for your metal runs every day and keeping your forges topped up. The ocean biome on Genesis is very unique to this game, so I think it's definitely important to have some options for when you're in the ocean. Probably your easiest option is to get yourself an Ichthyosaurus. Translated, it's a dolphin. So I'm not going to lie, your options on these guys are limited. Normally I just give them a little bit of health, a little bit of stamina, and then as much movement speed as possible. And this makes them very effective for what their use is. They're going to be extremely fast, you can get away from anything, and you can get around this biome very quickly. That is about it. That's all they're good for, exploration. Your Ichthyosaurus is not going to be strong by any means, so please don't try and take on things that are bigger than it. Or probably anything. But if you are leveling up its movement speed, nothing is going to keep up with you at all. And if you either want to explore or you just want to get from A to B in the ocean, this is the thing you need. Number 8. Some of you may be able to work out what I'm trying to do here with these microbe swarms. And if you can't work it out, don't worry, because I'm going to tell you. I'm using these little guys to tame myself a Megachelon. If you've played on Genesis, you've probably seen these guys. I mean, they're pretty difficult to miss. In case you haven't seen one, they're a huge turtle. It looks like a couple of carbon Emmys families have been brooding for a good few hundred years in an ocean full of nuclear waste. These guys have 4 eyes, 6 legs, and don't really look like they know what's going on at all. But they're very unique, they're a passive tame, meaning that you can get one of these guys very early on in your time on this game. So let's get to the cool bits. You can build structures on their back without even needing a saddle on it, and whilst you're on its back you'll see it gives off little oxygen bubbles. This means that you can actually breathe oxygen whilst on its back, so you can breathe underwater as long as you're on it. These guys are obviously massive tanks, and if you get yourself a good level one, it's going to have a lot of health. The best bit about this is that they can go in the sea and they can also go on the land. This means that you can literally take your Megachelon anywhere around here and you can have your whole base with you on a huge turtle, and it's arguably the best thing on this map. It's worth remembering that they are very slow, so you could get yourself in trouble with it if some people see you, because a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy that you're cooler than them. I'd also probably be a little bit careful about where you park it, because it can make you go a bit dizzy. That's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I really hope it's helped some of you out. If it has helped you out, please be sure to leave a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. It's a nice place to be. I have so many guides on my channel now, so if there's something you want to see, go check that out. Hopefully I've got something for you. But for now, this has been the best dinos to tame on Genesis. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.